I never thought my own parents would betray me, but they did, for just $500. My name is Sarah Chin, and at 24, I had built something revolutionary, a piece of software that could transform how hospitals manage patient care. But to my parents, I was just their naive daughter who needed to get a real job. I still remember the day everything changed. I was hunched over my laptop in my tiny apartment, debugging a crucial section of code, when my phone buzzed. Mom's face flashed on the screen. "Sarah, we need to talk about your little computer project," she said, her voice carrying that familiar tone of disapproval. "Michael Anderson is interested in buying it." Michael Anderson. The name made my stomach turn. He was the son of my father's best friend, a self-proclaimed tech entrepreneur who had never actually built anything himself. But in my parents' eyes, he was the perfect success story: MBA from an elite school, connections in Silicon Valley, and most importantly, he was a man who understood business. "Mom, it's not for sale," I said firmly. "The software is almost ready for the pilot program. 3 hospitals have already." "Don't be difficult, Sarah," she cut me off. "You're just a girl playing with computers. Michael has real business experience. He can turn this into something legitimate." My fingers tightened around the phone. Just a girl. Those 3 words had followed me my entire life. When I taught myself coding at 12, it was just a phase. When I graduated top of my class in computer science, it was cute. When I started developing healthcare management software, working 18-hour days and living on ramen noodles, it was a waste of time. "The software is mine," I said. "I'm not selling." But my parents had other plans. The next day, they invited me to dinner. I should have known something was wrong when I saw Michael there, wearing his practiced Silicon Valley smile. My father sat at the head of the table, beaming with pride, not at me, but at him. "Sarah," my father said, placing a check on the table, "we decided to sell your project to Michael. He's offering $500, which is generous considering it's unfinished." I stared at the check, then at my father, waiting for the punchline, but there wasn't one. "You can't sell my company," I said, my voice shaking. "You don't own it." Michael leaned forward, his smile never wavering. "Sarah, be reasonable. Your father told me about your little program. It's a good start, but you need someone with real experience to make it marketable, someone who understands the business world." I looked at my mother, hoping for support, but she just nodded approvingly at Michael. "He's right, dear. This is for the best." What they didn't know, what they never bothered to ask, was that my little program was already worth millions. The algorithm I developed could reduce hospital wait times by 47%, predict patient admission patterns with 93% accuracy, and cut administrative costs by a third. 3 major hospitals were ready to begin trials, and a leading healthcare tech company had already offered to partner with me. But none of that mattered to them, because I was just a girl playing with computers. I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. "The software isn't yours to sell. I own the patents, I own the company, and I'm not signing anything." My father's face darkened. "Sarah, stop being childish. Michael is willing to give you a job at the company, a real job, with benefits. You should be grateful." Grateful. The word hit me like a slap. I should be grateful that someone was trying to steal my life's work, for pocket change? "Keep your check," I said, turning to leave. "And Michael, good luck trying to steal my company. You'll need it." But I underestimated how far they would go. The next morning, I discovered my parents had used their shared access to my old laptop, the one where I'd stored my earliest code versions, to copy everything. They'd given Michael all my original work, claiming they had the right because they'd supported me by letting me live at home while I started coding. Michael wasted no time. Within days, he registered a new company, claiming ownership of my software. He even used my early design documents to file provisional patents, backdating them using my parents' signatures as witnesses. I watched in horror as he announced his new healthcare tech venture, using my work, my ideas, my dreams. The local tech blogs praised him as a rising star in healthcare innovation. My parents couldn't have been prouder. But Michael had made one crucial mistake: he hadn't bothered to understand the code he'd stolen. You see, while my parents had access to my old laptop, my real work, the revolutionary algorithms, the proprietary architecture, the core innovation that made everything work, was safely stored elsewhere. What Michael had stolen was just the skeleton, the basic framework. Without the heart of the system, it was useless. I spent the next week documenting everything, every line of code I'd written, every meeting with hospitals, every email, every patent application. I backed up everything securely and contacted Sarah Martinez, a ruthless intellectual property lawyer known for taking down tech frauds. They really thought they could steal your company for $500? She asked during our first meeting, looking through my documentation with growing interest. They thought I was just a girl playing with computers, I replied. She looked up from the papers, a predatory smile spreading across her face. Well then, let's show them exactly what just a girl can do. I didn't know it then, but that meeting would set in motion a chain of events that would shake the tech world. Michael was about to learn the hard way that real innovation doesn't come from stealing other people's work, it comes from understanding every line of code you write. And I understood every single line. The next phase of my story began with a simple error message, one that would make Michael Anderson realize he had just made the biggest mistake of his career. 2 weeks after Michael stole my code, I received an urgent text from an old college friend who now worked at Central Hospital, one of the facilities planning to pilot my software. Sarah, you need to see this. Anderson Tech just crashed and burned during their demo. I smiled, knowing exactly what had happened. You see, my code had a failsafe, a sophisticated authentication system that required my personal verification for any major system implementation. Without it, the software would appear to work perfectly during small tests but would fail spectacularly when deployed at scale. Michael had scheduled a grand demonstration at Central Hospital, inviting the press, investors, and of course, my parents. He planned to showcase his revolutionary healthcare management system to the world. I sat in the back of the conference room, wearing glasses and a business suit that made me unrecognizable to my family. The room was packed with hospital administrators, tech journalists, and potential investors. Michael stood on stage, looking confident in his expensive suit. Today, he announced, Anderson Tech will revolutionize healthcare management. That's when everything went wrong. The system started throwing error messages, not simple crashes. No, my failsafe was more elegant than that. Instead, the software began displaying its true validation requirements. Error, core algorithm authentication required. Original developer verification needed. Michael's face went pale as he frantically tried to bypass the error, but with each attempt, the system revealed more about its true ownership. Warning, unauthorized implementation detected. Please contact SIN for system validation. The room erupted in whispers. Investors began shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Hospital administrators exchanged concerned glances. I watched my parents' expressions change from pride to confusion as Michael stumbled through increasingly desperate explanations. Then I stood up and walked to the front of the room. Mr. Anderson, I said clearly, my voice carrying through the now silent auditorium. Are you having trouble with my software? The look of confusion on his face quickly turned to horror as I removed my glasses. Perhaps I can help. After all, I wrote every line of that code. Sarah. My father stood up, his face a mix of shock and anger. What are you doing? I pulled out my laptop, connected it to the projector, and began typing. I'm demonstrating who really created this software. With a few keystrokes, I authenticated the system. The error messages disappeared, replaced by the fully functioning platform I'd spent years developing. The room watched in awe as I showed them what the software could really do, not just basic patient management, but predictive analytics, resource optimization, and real-time decision support. This is the actual system, I explained to the stunned audience. The one Mr. Anderson tried to steal, for $500. I projected emails, patent documentation, and development logs onto the screen, evidence that proved I was the true creator. And here's something interesting, I added, pulling up a final document. A cease and desist letter from my lawyer, along with a federal lawsuit for intellectual property theft. Michael lunged for the podium. She's lying, her parents signed over the rights to me. Sarah Martinez, my lawyer, stood up from her seat in the front row. Actually, they didn't have any rights to sign over. Miss Chen's patents and code were fully registered before you attempted to steal them. Would you like to explain to everyone here how you obtained her intellectual property? The room erupted in chaos. Investors stormed out, pulling out phones to cancel their commitments. Hospital administrators huddled together, whispering about legal implications. Journalists started firing questions at Michael, who stood frozen on stage. My mother grabbed my arm. Sarah, how could you do this? Michael was trying to help you. I gently removed her hand. No, Mom, he was trying to steal from me, and you helped him, because you never believed in me. But we were just looking out for you, my father stuttered. You're just a girl. I finished for him. This just a girl built a system worth millions. The same system your friend's son tried to steal for the price of a cheap phone. I turned to the remaining audience members. My name is Sarah Chin. I'm the founder and CEO of Careflow Technologies, and I'm looking forward to showing you what my software can really do, legally and under my leadership. The aftermath was swift and devastating for Michael. His investors pulled out. His reputation in the tech world was destroyed, and he faced serious legal consequences for intellectual property theft. My parents? They tried to backtrack, claiming they were just trying to protect me, but the trust was broken. How could I ever believe in their support when they'd so easily dismissed everything I built? 6 months later, I stood on the same stage, but under very different circumstances. Careflow Technologies had just closed a $50 million funding round. Our pilot programs were showing incredible results. 50% reduction in wait times. 40% improvement in resource allocation. Unprecedented accuracy in patient care management. As I announced our success to a packed auditorium, I spotted my parents in the back row. They'd been trying to reconcile, sending messages about how proud they were, how they'd always believed in me. But their words rang hollow. They were proud now because I'd succeeded despite them, not because they'd supported me. After the presentation, they approached me, eyes filled with guilt and regret. Sarah, honey, my mother began, we're so sorry, we never meant to. I held up my hand. I know you're sorry, but being sorry because I succeeded isn't the same as believing in me when I was struggling. Can't we move past this? My father pleaded, we're family. I looked at them thoughtfully. Family is supposed to support each other, not steal from each other. You chose to help Michael steal my work because you couldn't imagine your daughter being capable of real success. I handed them each a business card. If you want to see me, you can schedule a meeting through my office, just like any other business associate. As I walked away, I heard my mother burst into tears. Part of me wanted to turn back, to accept their apology and pretend everything could go back to normal, but I knew better. Sometimes, success isn't just about proving others wrong, it's about proving to yourself that you were right all along. Today, Careflow Technologies is revolutionizing healthcare management across the country. We're expanding internationally, and our valuation has reached over $200 million. Michael Anderson? He's banned from the tech industry. His reputation is in shambles. And that $500 check they tried to buy my company with? I had it framed. It hangs in my office as a reminder. Your worth isn't determined by what others think of you, but by what you know you can achieve. Sometimes, people will underestimate you, dismiss you, or try to steal your dreams, but if you believe in yourself and protect what you've built, success is the best revenge. The next time someone tells you you're just a girl, or just anything else, remember my story. Remember that the people who underestimate you don't define your worth. You do. As for my parents, they still send emails sometimes, talking about family and forgiveness. Maybe one day, we'll rebuild our relationship, but it will have to be on new terms. Not as the daughter they thought they could dismiss, but as the woman who proved them wrong. Because I'm not just a girl playing with computers anymore. I'm the founder and CEO who changed the future of healthcare technology.